Jake Morrison stood in the center of the huge metal room. The walls stretched up so high he could barely see the ceiling. Bright lights shined down on him from every direction. Around him sat 12 different types of aliens, each one stranger than the last. The space station, called Nexus Prime, was bigger than any city on Earth. It floated in the darkness between stars, home to the Galactic Council. These aliens ruled over hundreds of worlds across the galaxy. They decided which species could join their group and which ones had to stay home. Jake wore his best blue uniform with the Earth flag on his shoulder. He had practiced his speech 1,000 times. Today was the most important day in human history. Earth wanted to join the galaxy. They wanted to trade with other worlds and learn their secrets. The alien in front of Jake looked like a giant crystal that moved and talked. Its name was High Arbiter, Veltar, and it spoke for the Zephyrian people. When it talked, its voice sounded like music played through broken glass. Human representative, Jake Morrison, the crystal being said, "We have studied your species for many months. We have watched your world. We have looked at your history. We have tested your technology." Jake's heart beat faster. This was it. The moment that would change everything for Earth. "The Galactic Council has made its decision," Veltar continued. "We find the human species to be inferior and unfit for galactic citizenship." The words hit Jake like a punch to the stomach. He had expected this might happen, but hearing it still hurt. All around the room, the other aliens nodded their heads or made sounds of agreement. A snake-like alien with 6 arms spoke next. "Your species fights too much. In the last 100 years, you have had 2 world wars. You kill each other over land, money, and ideas. We do not want violent species in our council." Another alien that looked like a walking tree added, "Your technology is very basic. You only learned to fly between stars 50 years ago. Some of us have been traveling the galaxy for thousands of years. You are like children playing with dangerous toys." Jake stepped forward. "Please, listen to me. Yes, humans have fought wars, but we have also made peace. We have countries that were enemies. Now working together, we help each other when disasters happen. We share our knowledge and resources." The crystal being made a sound like breaking glass. "Your planet is dying because of what you have done to it. You poison your air and water. You cut down your forests. You kill your animals. How can we trust you with other worlds?" "We are learning," Jake said, his voice getting louder. "We are fixing our mistakes. We have new, clean energy. We are healing our planet. Give us a chance to prove we can do better." A floating ball of light pulsed brighter. "Your space technology is crude. Your ships are slow and clumsy. You cannot even travel to your nearest star without taking many years. How could you possibly contribute anything useful to our advanced civilization?" Jake felt anger rising in his chest, but he pushed it down. Getting mad would not help Earth now. "We may not have the fastest ships, but we have other strengths. Humans are good at solving problems. We never give up. We work together when things get tough." The aliens talked among themselves in languages that sounded like wind, thunder, and music. Jake could not understand what they were saying, but their tone made it clear they were not impressed. Finally, Veltar spoke again. "The decision is final. Earth is rejected for membership in the Galactic Council. Furthermore, we are placing restrictions on your species." Jake felt his knees go weak. What kind of restrictions? No alien technology will be shared with humans. No trade agreements will be made. No alien ships will visit your solar system. And to make sure you follow these rules, we are placing monitoring satellites around your world. If any human ship tries to leave your solar system, we will stop it." The other aliens made approving sounds. To them, humans were just another primitive species that needed to be kept away from civilized society. "This is not fair," Jake said. "How can we prove ourselves if you will not give us a chance? Perhaps in a few hundred years, if your species survives and grows wiser, "We will look at you again," the tree-like alien said. "But for now, you must stay in your corner of space." The crystal being stood up, its body flashing with bright colors. "This meeting is finished. Human Representative Jake Morrison, you will return to your world immediately. Do not try to contact us again." Jake wanted to argue more, but he knew it was useless. The aliens had made up their minds. He turned and walked toward the exit, his footsteps echoing in the huge room. As he walked down the long hallway to his ship, Jake thought about what he would tell the leaders back on Earth. President Linda Hayes was waiting for his report. So were the heads of every major country. They had all hoped this day would bring good news. The small Earth ship called Freedom was waiting in the docking bay. It looked tiny next to the huge alien vessels parked nearby. Jake climbed aboard and started the engines. As the ship pulled away from the massive station, he could see the alien monitoring satellites already moving toward Earth's solar system. The journey home would take 3 weeks. 3 weeks to figure out how to tell 7 billion people that they were stuck on their own planet. 3 weeks to prepare for the disappointment and anger that would follow. But as Jake watched the stars stream past his window, he had no idea that this rejection would become the spark that lit a fire under human determination. He did not know that Earth was already working on secrets that would shock the galaxy. He could not imagine that someday the aliens who had called humans inferior would be begging for mercy. The Freedom flew through space toward Earth, carrying news that would change everything. Behind it, the aliens celebrated another successful day of keeping primitive species in their place. They had no idea what was coming. President Linda Hayes sat at the big table in the White House Situation Room. Around her were the most powerful leaders from every country on Earth. Their faces looked worried and angry as they watched Jake Morrison give his report on the wall screen. "So they rejected us completely," said the Russian president, shaking his head. "And now they put satellites around our planet, like we are prisoners. This is an insult to all humanity," added the Chinese leader. "How dare they call us inferior?" Linda Hayes raised her hand for quiet. "Being angry will not help us now. We need to decide what to do next." The British Prime Minister leaned forward. "What can we do? They have technology we cannot match. Their ships are faster than anything we can build. Their weapons are more powerful than ours." "Maybe that is what they think," said a quiet voice from the corner of the room. Everyone turned to look at Dr. Alex Carter. He was a thin man with gray hair and thick glasses. Most people would walk past him on the street without a second look, but Alex Carter was the smartest human alive, and he was in charge of Earth's biggest secret. "What do you mean, Doctor?" Linda Hayes asked. Alex stood up and walked to the front of the room. "I mean, the aliens do not know everything about us. They think they have studied human technology, but they have only seen what we wanted them to see." The German Chancellor frowned. "Are you saying we have been hiding things from them?" "Not just hiding," Alex said with a small smile. "We have been developing technology that makes their ships look like old cars compared to rockets." The room became very quiet. Even Linda Hayes looked surprised. Alex pressed a button on his tablet, and new images appeared on the wall screen. "Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about Project Phoenix." The screen showed pictures of strange machines and laboratories hidden deep underground. For 30 years, scientists from every country have been working together in secret. We have discovered something amazing about human brains. Alex pointed to a picture of a human head connected to wires and computers. Human neural patterns are different from every other species we have studied. Our brains can connect to quantum fields in ways that no alien can do. The Japanese Prime Minister looked confused. "What does that mean exactly?" "It means humans can control reality itself," Alex said. "We can manipulate space and time with our thoughts. We can make ships that exist in multiple dimensions at once. We can travel faster than light in ways the aliens never imagined." Linda Hayes felt her heart racing. How is this possible? Why do we not use this technology already? Because it takes years to train people to use it safely, Alex explained. And because we were not sure it would work until recently. But 3 days ago, we had our first major success. The screen changed to show a video. In it, a small silver ship appeared and disappeared over and over again. Sometimes it looked solid. Sometimes it was almost invisible. Sometimes it seemed to be in 2 places at once. This is our prototype quantum ship, Alex said proudly. It can phase in and out of normal space. Alien weapons cannot hit it because it is not really there when they fire. But it can attack them from angles they cannot defend against. The Indian Prime Minister stared at the screen. How many of these ships do we have? Right now, just 5 working prototypes, Alex admitted. But we can build more quickly now that we know the design works. In 6 months, we could have a fleet of 50 ships. What about pilots? Asked the French president. If this technology requires special brain training, how many people can use it? Alex smiled wider. That is the best part. It turns out about 1 in every 1,000 humans has a natural talent for quantum manipulation. We have been testing people in secret for years. We already have over 200 trained pilots ready to fly these ships. Linda Hayes stood up. Dr. Carter, are you telling us that while the aliens think they have trapped us on Earth, we actually have technology that is better than theirs? Much better, Alex said. Their ships move through normal space, following the old rules of physics. Our ships can step outside those rules completely. We can appear anywhere in the galaxy instantly. We can attack from dimensions they cannot. See? We can defend ourselves in ways they cannot understand. The room erupted in excited voices as leaders asked questions all at once. Linda Hayes had to bang her hand on the table to restore order. If this is true, she said, then we have a chance to show these aliens that they made a big mistake. Alex nodded. More than that, we have a chance to completely change how the galaxy works. For too long, the strong have bullied the weak. It is time for that to end. The screen changed again to show a man in a flight suit standing next to one of the quantum ships. This is Commander Ryan Brooks, Alex said. He is training our pilots at a secret base in Nevada. His best student is Captain Maria Santos. She can make her ship do things that even I do not fully understand. When can we test this technology against the aliens? Linda Hayes asked. The monitoring satellites they put around Earth cannot detect quantum signatures, Alex explained. As far as they know, we are still trapped here. But our ships have already made secret trips to other star systems. We have been studying alien technology and preparing for the day when we reveal ourselves. The Brazilian president looked worried. What if we are wrong? What if their technology is still better than ours? Alex's smile faded a little. Then humanity will face the consequences. But I do not think we are wrong. Human creativity and determination have always been our greatest strengths. Now we have the tools to match them. Linda Hayes looked around the room at the other leaders. We need to vote on this. Do we keep hiding and accept the aliens' restrictions? Or do we reveal our true capabilities and demand the respect we deserve? One by one, the leaders raised their hands in favor of revealing humanity's secret technology. The vote was unanimous. Then, it is decided, Linda Hayes said. Dr. Carter, how long before we can make our move? Give us 3 more months to build additional ships and finish training our pilots, Alex said. Then we will show the galaxy what humans can really do. As the meeting ended and the leaders prepared to return to their countries, Linda Hayes stayed behind with Alex Carter. Doctor, are you absolutely certain this will work? She asked quietly. Alex looked out the window at the night sky, where alien satellites watched Earth like prison guards. Madam President, I have spent my entire life studying the impossible and making it real. These aliens think they know everything about the universe. They are about to learn that humans see possibilities they never imagined. High above Earth, the alien monitoring satellites continued their watch, completely unaware that deep underground, humans were preparing to turn the galaxy upside down. The aliens had planted the seeds of their own downfall when they called humanity inferior. Soon, they would harvest the consequences of that mistake. High Arbiter, Veltar was enjoying a peaceful morning on Nexus Prime when the emergency alarm began to scream. The crystal being's body flashed red with annoyance as he moved toward the command center. The humans had been quiet for 6 months. Since their rejection, what could possibly be wrong now? The command center was full of panicked aliens. Screens showed data from monitoring stations across the galaxy. The snake-like communications officer turned to Veltar, with all 6 of his arms shaking. "Hi, Arbiter. We are receiving impossible reports from multiple systems," he said. "Our stations claim they have detected human ships outside the Sol system." Veltar's crystal body made a sound like breaking glass. "That is clearly a malfunction. Human ships cannot travel faster than light. Their primitive vessels would take years to reach even the nearest star." "That is what we thought," the officer said nervously. "But the reports keep coming in. Vega System, Altair System, Wolf 359, even systems 50 light-years from Earth, all reporting the same thing." "Show me the data," Veltar demanded. The main screen displayed a map of local space. Red dots appeared and disappeared across dozens of star systems. Each dot represented a reported human ship sighting. The pattern made no sense. Even if humans had somehow built faster ships, they could not be in so many places at once. "Run full diagnostics on all monitoring equipment," Veltar ordered. "This is obviously some kind of system-wide malfunction." But deep in his crystalline core, Veltar felt a small seed of worry. What if the reports were real? 3 star systems away. Captain Maria Santos sat in the pilot seat of the Terra Nova. The ship looked like a silver needle, smooth and graceful, but appearances were deceiving. This vessel could do things that broke every rule of physics the aliens thought they knew. "Terra Nova to base," Maria spoke into her communicator. "I am approaching the Proxima system. No alien vessels detected yet. Copy. Terra Nova," came the voice of Commander Ryan Brooks from the hidden base on Earth. "Remember, we are just observing for now. Do not engage unless they attack first." Maria smiled. "Understood, Commander. Though I hope they do try something. I would love to show them what this ship can really do." The Terra Nova had been Maria's home for 3 months now. She had learned to think of the ship not as a machine, but as an extension of her own body. The quantum interface responded to her thoughts faster than her muscles responded to her brain. She could phase the ship through solid matter, exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, and travel distances instantly that would take alien ships days to cross. "Contact," called out her sensor officer, Lieutenant Tony Mitchell. "Large vessel, approaching from the outer system. Configuration matches Zephyrian battlecruiser." "Perfect," Maria said. "Let them get close. I want them to get a good look at us before we disappear." The alien ship was enormous compared to the Terra Nova. It looked like a flying crystal castle, bristling with weapons and shields. Maria knew that single ship could destroy Earth's entire old fleet without taking damage. But those were the old rules. Humanity was playing a new game now. "Human vessel," came a transmission from the alien ship. "You are in violation of Galactic Council restrictions. Return to your home system immediately, or you will be destroyed." Maria opened a channel. "This is Captain Maria Santos of the Earthship Terra Nova. We are in open space, harming no one. We have as much right to be here as you do." "Impossible," came the alien reply. "Human technology cannot travel these distances. You must be using stolen alien technology, prepared to be boarded and searched." "I do not think so," Maria said calmly. "Terra Nova, initiate phase shift." The ship around her began to hum with energy. Maria felt the quantum field respond to her thoughts. Reality became fluid, changeable. The Terra Nova began to shift between dimensions, becoming translucent and ghostly. On the alien ship, alarms began screaming. Their sensors showed the human vessel flickering in and out of existence. One moment it was solid and real. The next moment it seemed like a ghost. "Fire warning shots," ordered the Zephyrian captain. "Force them back into normal space." Brilliant. Beams of energy lanced out from the crystal ship. The weapons were powerful enough to melt asteroids. They struck the Terra Nova dead center and passed right through it. Without causing any damage, Maria laughed as she watched the alien beams pass harmlessly around her ship. "Your turn," she said to her crew. "Let us show them what real technology looks like." She reached out with her mind, feeling for the quantum signature of the alien vessel. Every piece of matter had its own quantum pattern. With the right mental push, she could change that pattern in interesting ways. The Zephyrian captain watched in horror as sections of his ship began to age rapidly. The outer hull became pitted and corroded as if it had been flying through space for centuries. Weapon systems began to fail as their metal components turned to rust. "What are they doing to us?" screamed the weapons officer. Before the captain could answer, the aging effect reversed itself. The ship's hull became new and shiny again. All systems returned to normal operation. It was as if the last few minutes had never happened. "This is impossible," the captain whispered. "No species has this kind of technology." Maria's voice came over the communication channel again. "Captain, I just demonstrated that I can age your ship to dust and restore it again with a thought. I could have destroyed you completely, but I chose not to. Do you understand what this means?" The alien captain understood perfectly. He was completely outmatched. His pride in his ship's weapons meant nothing against technology that could manipulate time itself. "I want you to take a message back to the Galactic Council," Maria continued. "Tell High Arbiter Veltar that humans are not the primitive species he thought we were. Tell him that we have capabilities he cannot imagine. And tell him that we remember every insult, every restriction, every moment of humiliation he forced upon us." The Terra Nova began to fade from normal space, becoming more and more transparent. "Wait," the alien captain called out. "How is this possible? Your species was barely capable of primitive spaceflight 6 months ago." Maria's voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere as her ship completed its phase shift. "You never bothered to really study us, did you? You saw our crude rockets and assumed that was all we were capable of. That was your first mistake. Your second mistake was thinking that superior technology makes you superior beings. You are about to learn the difference." The Terra Nova vanished completely, leaving the Zephyrian battlecruiser alone in space. The alien captain stared at the empty space where the human ship had been, his mind struggling to process what he had witnessed. Back on Nexus Prime, Veltar received the captain's report with growing alarm. The crystal being's body flashed through angry colors as he absorbed the implications. "Summon the full council," he ordered. "It appears we have severely underestimated the human threat." But it was already too late. Across the galaxy, human ships were revealing themselves to alien vessels. Each encounter followed the same pattern. The aliens would try to assert their authority. The humans would demonstrate technology that made alien science look like children's toys. And then the humans would disappear, leaving behind terrified aliens and impossible questions. On Earth, Dr. Alex Carter monitored the encounters from his secret command center. Everything was going according to plan. The aliens were learning that humanity was not what they had expected. Soon they would have to choose between acknowledging their mistake or escalating to full warfare. "How many ships have we revealed so far?" asked President Linda Hayes, who had come to observe the operation. 15 different encounters across 12 star systems, Alex reported. Not a single alien vessel has been able to touch our ships. They are completely outmatched. And how are they responding? Alex smiled grimly. With fear and confusion. They are calling emergency council sessions and moving their fleets into defensive positions. They know something has changed, but they do not understand what. Good, Linda Hayes said. Let them wonder. Let them worry. Let them realize that they are no longer the masters of the galaxy. High above Earth, the alien monitoring satellites continued their watch, still unaware that human ships were moving freely throughout the galaxy. The satellites detected nothing unusual because the quantum ships operated on frequencies beyond alien comprehension. The galaxy was about to change forever. The species that had been dismissed as inferior was revealing capabilities that challenged everything the aliens thought they knew about technology and power. And this was only the beginning. High Arbiter, Veltor stood before the emergency session of the Galactic Council. His crystal body pulsed with angry red light as he addressed the gathered representatives. Around the chamber, aliens from 12 different worlds listened with growing fear. The human threat is real, Veltar announced. They have technology that violates every law of physics we understand. They can appear and disappear at will. They can manipulate time itself. If we do not stop them now, they will challenge our authority over the entire galaxy. The snake-like Silverian delegate raised 4 of his 6 arms. But how do we fight? An enemy we cannot hit. Our weapons pass through their ships like they are made of smoke. We use numbers, Veltar replied. Gather every ship from every member world. Build the largest fleet in galactic history. Even with their advanced technology, they cannot be everywhere at once. The tree-like Verdanian spoke with a voice like rustling leaves. Are we certain this is wise? Perhaps we should try to negotiate with them instead. Veltar's body flashed brighter with rage. Negotiate. They are an inferior species that got lucky with one piece of advanced technology. We rule the galaxy because we are superior. We cannot allow primitives to challenge that. Order. The floating orb of light that represented the Luminari pulsed thoughtfully. Their message said they remember every insult. They want revenge for our rejection. Then we will give them something to really remember, Veltar said coldly. Send orders to all member worlds. Every ship, every weapon, every soldier. We will crush the human rebellion before it spreads to other species. Within days, the largest military force in galactic history began to assemble. Over 300 ships from 12 different civilizations converged on a staging area near Wolf 359. The fleet included massive battle cruisers, fast attack ships, and vessels carrying weapons that could destroy entire planets. The alien commanders were confident. Even if the humans had a few dozen advanced ships, they could not possibly stand against such overwhelming force. The fleet would surround Earth and demand surrender. Any human ship that tried to resist would be destroyed. But the humans had no intention of defending Earth. Instead, they chose to meet the alien fleet at Wolf 359, far from any inhabited worlds. Commander Ryan Brooks led the human force of just 12 ships. His flagship, the Terra Nova II, was the newest and most advanced vessel in the human fleet. Next to him flew Captain Maria Santos in the original Terra Nova, now upgraded with even more powerful quantum systems. All ships, this is Brooks, Ryan spoke into his communicator. Remember, we are not here to destroy. We are here to demonstrate. Disable their ships when possible. Show them that resistance is futile. Copy that, Commander, came Maria's voice. Though I have to ask, why only 12 ships? We have 50 available now. Because, Ryan smiled, 12 ships defeating their entire fleet will be more humiliating than 50 ships doing it. We want them to understand exactly how outmatched they are. The alien fleet spread out in a massive formation. 300 ships arranged in perfect attack patterns, their weapons charged and ready. The Zephyrian admiral in command felt confident as he watched the 12 tiny human ships approach. "Human vessels," he transmitted, "you are vastly outnumbered. Surrender now, and we will allow you to return to your primitive world." Ryan's reply was calm and steady. "Admiral, you have one chance to withdraw peacefully. Leave this system now and no harm will come to your ships." The alien admiral laughed, a sound like breaking crystal. 12 ships against 300. "You humans truly are as foolish as we thought." "Then let us begin," Ryan said quietly. "All ships, engage quantum phase. Show them what humanity can really do." The 12 human ships suddenly flickered and became translucent. They began to move in ways that hurt alien minds to watch. The ships seemed to exist in multiple places at once, diving through asteroid fields and emerging inside the alien formation. The alien admiral ordered his fleet to open fire. Hundreds of energy beams filled space with deadly light, but every shot passed harmlessly through the phased human ships. It was like trying to shoot ghosts with bullets. Maria Santos pushed her consciousness deep into the quantum field. The Terra Nova responded to her thoughts, shifting between 17 different dimensional phases simultaneously. She flew her ship directly through the center of the alien formation, appearing inside their defensive screens and disappearing before their weapons could track her as she passed through each alien ship. Maria reached out with her mind and selectively phased their weapon systems. The massive energy cannons simply stopped existing in normal space while everything else remained untouched. Ship after ship found their weapons completely useless. Ryan Brooks coordinated the attack like a conductor directing an orchestra. His ships moved with perfect precision, striking from impossible angles and vanishing before retaliation could come. The aliens found themselves fighting an enemy that could be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Lieutenant Amy Parker, piloting the quantum ship Defiance, discovered she could manipulate gravity fields around enemy vessels. She trapped an entire squadron of alien fighters in a gravity bubble, holding them motionless while she disabled their engines one by one. Captain John Davis aboard the Phantom learned to phase enemy ships partially out of normal space. He would make their hulls translucent and ghostly, causing massive system failures without actually destroying the vessels. The alien crews found themselves floating helplessly as their ships became unable to maintain life support. The battle lasted only 43 minutes. When it ended, the entire alien fleet was disabled. Not one human ship had been damaged. Not one alien had been killed, though their pride was shattered beyond repair. The Zephyrian admiral stared in disbelief at his ruined fleet. Ships drifted, powerless through space. Weapons were gone. Engines were dead. Communications were down. His mighty armada had been reduced to floating scrap by 12 human vessels. "This is impossible," he whispered to his bridge crew. "We had every advantage. How did they do this?" Ryan Brooks appeared on the Admiral's communication screen. The human commander looked calm and professional, showing no sign of triumph or revenge. "Admiral," Ryan said, "your fleet is disabled, but intact. Your crews are alive and unharmed. This was not a battle. This was a demonstration. We could have destroyed every one of your ships in the first minute, if we had chosen to do so." The alien admiral felt something he had never experienced before: complete helplessness. "What do you want from us?" "We want what every species wants," Ryan replied. "Respect, recognition, the right to exist without being called inferior by those who know nothing about us." "But your technology," the admiral stammered. "Where did it come from? How is this possible?" Ryan smiled sadly. "You studied our crude rockets and our primitive computers. You saw our wars and our pollution. You decided we were inferior without bothering to learn who we really are. You never looked deeper. You never asked what humans might be capable of, if we truly tried." Maria Santos brought the Terra Nova alongside the alien flagship. Her ship flickered between dimensions, sometimes solid, sometimes translucent, sometimes appearing to be in several places at once. "Admiral," she said, "every species in your council has been traveling space for centuries. You developed your technology slowly, carefully, following the same basic principles. But humans think differently. We see possibilities you never imagined. We break rules you never thought could be broken." The Admiral watched in fascination as Maria's ship seemed to fold space around itself. "What happens now? Will you destroy our worlds? Will you conquer us?" "No," Ryan said firmly. "We are not conquerors. We are not like you. We will disable your monitoring satellites around Earth. We will remove your restrictions on human travel, and we will demand that the Galactic Council acknowledge that they were wrong about us. And if the Council refuses," Ryan's expression grew serious, "then we will demonstrate our capabilities to every world in the galaxy simultaneously. We will show everyone that the Council's power is an illusion. We will prove that the age of alien supremacy is over." The human ships began to fade from normal space, preparing to return to Earth. As they disappeared, Ryan's final words echoed across the disabled alien fleet. "Tell your High Arbiter that humanity tried the peaceful way first. We came to you with open hands and respectful words. You rejected us with insults and threats. Now you have seen what happens when humans decide to stop being polite." The 12 human ships vanished completely, leaving behind 300 disabled alien vessels and crews who would never again think of humans as primitive or inferior. News of the defeat spread quickly through alien communication networks on worlds across the galaxy. Species that had been conquered or oppressed by the Galactic Council began to whisper among themselves. If humans could defeat the mighty Council fleet, maybe other species could find freedom too. The galaxy was changing. The old order was crumbling, and somewhere in the depths of space, humanity was preparing for the final confrontation that would reshape civilization itself. President Linda Hayes stood on the bridge of the massive ship Earth's Pride, looking out at the stars through the huge viewing window. Around her, the command crew worked quietly at their stations. In 3 hours, they would begin the most important operation in human history. "Status report," Linda said to Admiral Kevin Turner, who had taken command of all human space forces after the victory at Wolf 359. "All ships are in position, Madam President," Kevin replied. "We have vessels at every major world in the galaxy. When you give the word, we will appear in orbit around 237 planets simultaneously." Linda nodded slowly. The plan was ambitious beyond anything humans had ever attempted. They would show themselves to every intelligent species in the galaxy at the same time, proving that human technology was far beyond what anyone had imagined. "Dr. Carter, is the quantum communication network ready?" Linda asked. Alex Carter looked up from his control panel, his eyes bright with excitement. "Ready, Madam President? Every ship in the fleet is connected through quantum entanglement. We can coordinate across the entire galaxy in real time in the planetary demonstration." Alex smiled. "The quantum manipulator is charged and ready. When we activate it, everyone in the galaxy will see what human technology can really do." 3 months had passed since the Battle of Wolf 359. In that time, the Galactic Council had tried to rebuild their forces and restore their authority, but news of their defeat had spread to every corner of civilized space. Dozens of species had begun questioning Council rule. Some had even started rebellions against their alien overlords. High Arbiter Veltar had sent desperate messages to Earth, demanding negotiations and threatening terrible consequences. But humanity had ignored them all. The time for talking was over now. It was time for action. "All ships, this is President Hayes." Linda spoke into the communication system that connected her to every human vessel in the galaxy. "In 60 seconds, we will reveal ourselves to the galaxy. Remember, we are not conquerors. We are liberators. We fight not to dominate, but to free all species from the tyranny of the Council. She looked at the clock counting down on the main screen. 50 seconds. 40. 30. Dr. Carter, begin the demonstration, Linda ordered. Quantum manipulator activating, Alex announced. Target locked on the Zephyrian homeworld. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 5. All ships, execute operation. Revelation. Show the galaxy that humanity has arrived. Across the galaxy, human ships suddenly appeared in orbit around every major world. The sight was impossible to believe. Ships that had been hidden in quantum phase space materialized simultaneously above planets that were thousands of light years apart. On the Zephyrian homeworld, billions of crystal beings looked up at their sky in terror as silver human ships hung motionless above their cities. The vessels were beautiful and graceful, but they represented power beyond imagination. Similar scenes played out on worlds across the galaxy. The snake-like Silverians hissed in fear as human ships appeared above their desert cities. The Verdanians swayed in panic as the vessels cast shadows on their forest homes. The floating luminari dimmed their light bodies as they realized their energy shields meant nothing against technology that could appear anywhere, but the real demonstration was just beginning. Quantum manipulator at full power, Alex reported, from Earth's Pride, beginning temporal displacement of the Zephyrian homeworld. Linda Hayes took a deep breath. What they were about to do would shock every intelligent being in the galaxy, but it was necessary to prove their point completely. Execute, she ordered. Hi, Arbiter Veltar was in his crystal palace when the impossible happened. One moment, he was looking out at his beautiful homeworld with its crystal cities and energy gardens. The next moment, everything simply vanished. The planet was gone. Not destroyed, not damaged, just gone. In its place was empty space where a world should have been. Veltar and every other being on the planet found themselves floating in transparent energy bubbles, breathing recycled air and staring at the empty space where their home had been just seconds before. This is President Linda Hayes of Earth, came a voice that somehow reached every being in the galaxy simultaneously. What you are witnessing is a demonstration of human quantum manipulation technology. The Zephyrian homeworld has been displaced 1 second into the future. It still exists, but not in this moment of time. Across the galaxy, trillions of aliens watched in horrified fascination as an entire planet simply disappeared from existence. The implications were staggering. If humans could make a planet vanish, they could do the same to any world that opposed them. We could leave your world in temporal displacement forever, Linda continued. We could erase it from history completely. But we choose not to. We choose mercy over vengeance, even though you showed us no such kindness. The empty space where the Zephyrian homeworld had been began to shimmer and warp. Slowly, impossibly, the planet began to reappear. Cities, oceans, and crystal forests faded back into existence as if they had never been gone. Within minutes, the world was completely restored. Every building, every tree, every grain of sand was exactly where it had been before. The only evidence of what had happened was the memory of terror in every alien mind. Your world is restored, Linda said, her voice calm and steady. This demonstration proves that humanity has the power to end this conflict instantly. We could eliminate every council world and every council fleet with a thought, but we will not. Do you know why? High Arbiter, Veltar, still shaking from the experience of watching his homeworld vanish, managed to activate his communication system. Why? He whispered. Because we are not like you, Linda replied. We do not believe that might makes right. We do not think that advanced technology gives us the right to rule over others. We believe in freedom, equality, and justice for all intelligent beings. Captain Maria Santos, now commanding the Terra Nova 3 from orbit above the Zephyrian capital, added her voice to the transmission. High Arbiter, you called us inferior because we fought wars among ourselves, but those wars taught us the value of peace. You called us primitive because our technology was crude, but that forced us to develop creativity and determination. You rejected us because you thought we had nothing to offer. You were wrong about everything. Linda Hayes stood straighter as she delivered humanity's final demand. The Galactic Council system ends today. No more will advanced species rule over primitive ones. No more will the strong oppress the weak. We propose a new system, the Galactic Democratic Federation, where every species has an equal voice, regardless of their technology or military power. The response from across the galaxy was immediate. On hundreds of worlds, oppressed species began celebrating. The tyranny that had lasted for thousands of years was finally ending. But High Arbiter Veltar was not ready to surrender. You cannot simply destroy our civilization and replace it with your own, he protested. We have maintained order in the galaxy for millennia. Your order was built on fear and oppression, replied Admiral Kevin Turner from his position above the Council capital world. Species that questioned your authority were destroyed or enslaved. Worlds that refused to submit were conquered. You call that order. We call it tyranny. Dr. Alex Carter activated another system from Earth's Pride. To prove our point, we are now sharing our quantum manipulation technology with every species in the galaxy simultaneously. No longer will any civilization have an unfair advantage over others across thousands of worlds. Alien scientists suddenly found detailed technical specifications for quantum technology appearing on their computer systems. The knowledge that had taken humanity 30 years to develop was being given away freely to anyone who wanted it. This is madness, Veltar exclaimed. You are giving weapons of incredible power to every species in the galaxy. We are giving tools of incredible potential to every species in the galaxy, Linda corrected. What they do with those tools will be their choice. But no longer will the galaxy be divided between the advanced and the primitive. Now everyone will have access to the same technology. As news of humanity's gift spread across the galaxy, something unprecedented began to happen. Species that had been enemies for centuries began talking to each other as equals. Worlds that had been isolated by their primitive technology suddenly found themselves able to join the galactic community. The old system was collapsing, but something better was taking its place. High Arbiter Veltar, Linda said formally, on behalf of humanity and all free species, I call for the immediate dissolution of the Galactic Council and the establishment of the Galactic Democratic Federation. Will you submit to the will of the galaxy? Veltar looked around at his advisors, but saw only fear and defeat in their expressions. The crystal being's body had lost its bright glow and now pulsed with dim, defeated colors. I surrender, he said quietly. The Galactic Council accepts dissolution. 1 year later, Ambassador Jake Morrison stood at the podium in the Great Assembly Hall of the rebuilt Nexus Prime. Around him sat representatives from over 400 species, each with an equal vote in the new Galactic Democratic Federation. Jake smiled as he looked out at the diverse crowd. Crystals sat next to trees. Energy beings floated beside rock creatures. Species that had been mortal enemies for millennia now worked together as equals. Fellow citizens of the galaxy, Jake began. 1 year ago, I stood before the old Galactic Council as a rejected supplicant. Today, I stand before you as an equal among equals. This transformation was not achieved through conquest or destruction, but through the simple demonstration that all intelligent beings deserve respect and freedom. In the audience, High Arbiter Veltar listened quietly. The crystal being had been elected as one of the Zephyrian representatives to the new Federation. His species had adapted quickly to the new order, discovering that cooperation produced better results than domination. The humans could have ruled us all, Veltar had said in a recent interview. They had the power to make themselves masters of the galaxy. Instead, they chose to make us all free. That is a wisdom my species never possessed. As Jake continued his speech, children from dozens of species played together in the observation areas. They had no memory of the old system, where some species were considered superior to others. To them, diversity was natural and beautiful. The galaxy had been transformed not by superior weapons or advanced technology, but by the simple human belief that everyone deserved a chance to prove their worth. The species that had been labeled inferior had shown the galaxy what true superiority really meant. The strength to lift others up instead of keeping them down. In the end, humanity's greatest victory was not proving they were better than everyone else. It was proving that everyone else was better than they had been allowed to be.